What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. I have the new Polar Lights palette from Menagerie Cosmetics to test out with y'all today, and I am really excited about this because it's a new to me brand. It's been on my wish list for a very long time, and every time I think I'm going to purchase a palette from them, something new and exciting comes out and it just gets put on the back burner. I had actually intended on picking up the Flight Club palette during the Black Friday sale because that's the one I've had my eye on. It's purple. I love a purple eyeshadow, but instead they decided to bring us a new eyeshadow palette. So I figured I would go ahead and start here, and if I like the formula, more than likely I will pick up Flight Club in the future. But let's get back to this little guy over here. So this is the Polar Lights palette, and I love the cover art. Look at the cute little polar bear. She's chomping on her snowball with her little flowers around her ears. She just looks so sweet and innocent, but I'm sure she's not. But anyways, this is going to be a 9-pan color story. It does retail for $38. It's currently available on their website, and I really like the color story in here. It's very cool tone, winter leaning. You've got your greens, your blues down here, a couple pops of neutrals, which personally I really appreciate it when a palette has some more neutral leaning tones in it. I feel like it just gives a little bit more variety to the color story and makes it a little bit more approachable for every day if you can't wear color every single day. But this is going to be a very matte heavy leaning palette. You've got 5 mattes, 4 shimmers, and it looks like we've got a duochrome down here. So I'm excited to test this out. Now this collection did also include a highlighter, which retails for $15, and it was a really pretty sparkly blue one, but personally I didn't need it, so I skipped out on that. And they also came out with 3 of their liquid matte lipsticks, and I just wasn't kind of jiving with any of the colors. There weren't really things that I'm comfortable wearing and I wouldn't get any use out of, but I did pick up another one. It's the one that I'm actually wearing. This is in the shade Sedona, and I thought the color was really pretty, and if I'm being completely honest, I picked it up because I was this close to getting free shipping, and personally I'd rather have another product than pay for shipping, so that's why I picked it up. It is very comfortable. It definitely dried down completely, and it's almost a little too drying, but it doesn't feel too bad. It doesn't feel too uncomfortable. I've only had it on for maybe about 20 minutes at this point, so I'll definitely keep y'all posted in the future. But I'm really excited to dive into this palette and create a couple of different looks for y'all, and at the end of the video I can give you my first initial impression thoughts. Now I will have everything in this collection, as well as everything that I used to complete my looks today, linked and listed down below in the description box. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything I use in any of my videos here on my channel, always check the description box. I squeeze as much information as I possibly can into that tiny little space. But let's go ahead and zoom in, get my hair out of my face, prime my eyes, and start creating our 2 looks. Alright, so I think for the first look, I want to do something with these 2 shades right here, and then maybe throw in a little pop of something else. I don't really know yet, but I am going to go ahead and start with this really pretty sort of minty green shade right here, which is called Frigid. I'm going to pick that up with a BK Beauty 201 brush, and I'm going to start by going in very light-handed and just kind of fluffing this into my crease. I don't know what kind of pigmentation I'm going to get, and I don't want it to get away from me, so I'm curious to see if this is going to be more on the buildable side, if it's going to really pack a punch, if I'm going to get patching, skipping, fallout, all of that. It's definitely very pigmented. I went in a little bit more on the heavy-handed side when I dipped back in, but it also seems like if you go in light-handed, you can definitely sort of build up the pigmentation. I'm not getting any fallout so far. It's blending out really nicely. No patching, no skipping, no grabbing. It is performing really nicely so far. Alright, so next I want to go into this really pretty mid-tone blue shade down here. This one is called Ursus Maritimus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and pick that up with a Sigma E24 brush, and I'm going to start to kind of pack this on my outer corner, building up a little bit of depth and definition, and see what kind of variance we're going to get, how these shades kind of blend in together, if they're going to kind of start to grab or kind of fluff away, or if we're going to get any muddiness. These shades should blend together really nicely, but you never know what's going to happen, especially with a new formula. So that's going on really, really nicely. Nice and pigmented. It's blending out nicely. It's not the easiest shade to blend out that I've ever used, but it's not super fussy either. Like, I've definitely played with ones that are much harder and take a lot more work to blend out. I'm also going to bring this down onto the outer portion of my lower lash line as well, just kind of meeting it up down here with what I put on my lid, so we just kind of line everything up. And then once I finish everything like out here, I'll go back in with that first shade and kind of blend everything out on my lower lash line, completing it. That's really pretty. I like that shade. It's bright, it's fun, it went on really nicely. Okay, let's go ahead and deepen up this outer corner a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with this deeper green shade up here, which is called Tundra. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with my brush, which is somewhere around here. Here it is. This is my Morphe M506 brush, and I'm just gonna go in very light-handed yet again, and I'm gonna build up a little bit of depth out here. Hopefully, I'm assuming these colors are going to build on top of one another really nicely, and they really do seem to be. I'm even really impressed that that blue built on top of that first shade that I put down, because it's definitely a little bit more on the pastel-y side, and sometimes it's hard to build up on top of a pastel, but I really didn't have any issues. These are working really nicely. All right, so I'm gonna go back with that first shade, which is called Frigid, and I'm just gonna fluff it along the rest of my lower lash line, bringing it over to the inner corner, and then just kind of fluffing it along the outer portion as well, making sure we don't have any harsh lines, everything is nice and blended. And I also wanna go back with a little bit of it right along this edge right here, just to kind of reiterate a little bit of that shade that I lost whenever I deepened up my outer corner. Sometimes I take my outer corner shade up a little too high and it can get away from me, so I like to just kind of go back and soften everything. That is really, really pretty. These shades are working beautifully. All right, so for all over the lid, we definitely have some options, and I'm really leaning towards this duochrome shade down here. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm not sure what I want to do for the inner corner because there's not really anything in here light enough for my fair skin. So as much as I don't like doing this, I may just go in with the highlighter that I use, which is this one from ColourPop. This is from the Frosty the Snowman collection in Winter Wonderland, and I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But let's go ahead and start with this one down here, which is called Sub-Zero. I have already gone ahead and primed my eyes with my NYX glitter primer per usual, and I'm going to go ahead and pick that shade up with my BK Beauty 203 brush, just kind of coating my brush really, really well. And once I have it picked up, I am going to spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, just so I have a little bit of extra insurance. I don't get any fallout and get sparkle everywhere, and it's really going to help kind of increase the punch that this is going to have. So I'm just going to go ahead and press this all over my lid. And I'm going to sort of bring it over towards the inner corner and just kind of blend it out here. I think we're probably going to have to go in with another shade to kind of marry that matte and that shimmer shade together. But that is absolutely beautiful. It is so reflective, so smooth. It's not chunky. I'm not getting any fallout. And it's going on really, really nicely. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, so next I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Blizzard. It's a really pretty blue shimmer shade. I'm going to pick that up with my same brush that I just used. I just wiped it off a little bit, and I'm going to spray it once again, and I'm going to kind of use this to marry this outer corner in with that shimmer shade just a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that is so pretty. I love going in with a darker shimmer that's very close in tone to the outer corner. It just kind of marries everything together and gets a softer blend and gets rid of that harsh line. I like everything to be very blended. I don't like to do a lot of cut creases or anything like that. I've said that several times, and that is absolutely beautiful. Okay, for the inner corner though, I am going to go in with my Super Shock highlighter that I used today, just because, like I said, there's not anything else in this palette that's going to work for me. If you have a deeper skin tone, that's 100% going to be a different story. But I'm just going to pick this up with my Singe Beauty EO1 brush, just a little bit. I don't need to spray it or anything because it's that sort of putty formula. And I'm just going to pop this right in here on my inner corner and then kind of blend it up onto the lid. And it just kind of hit me that if you pick up the highlighter that goes with this collection, that would work beautiful for an inner corner with this look. I think it would be absolutely stunning, but that's working really nicely. I like that little kind of frosty white shade that we have going on. All right, y'all, so this is the first completed look with this palette, and I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. I'm really impressed with the performance of the mattes in here. I didn't have any issues building them up, blending them out. I didn't get any patching, skipping, fallout, or anything like that. And the shimmers were so smooth on the lid. They're not accentuating texture. They don't feel heavy. I didn't get any fallout or chunkiness with those either. But let's go over what I used to finish off this look so we can start creating our second look with this palette. So in my lower waterline, I went in with a NYX Epic Wear liner. This is in the shade Blue Trip, and then I lined my lid with my ZC liquid liner and finished everything off with my City Beauty Beyond mascara. But let's move into our second look, because I definitely think I want to do something a little bit more neutral leaning. I realize that these aren't browns, like this is like a green shade up here, but to me it's definitely more on the neutral side, especially if you love colorful makeup. So I'm kind of thinking this little corner right here, and then maybe somehow we can incorporate this shade down here. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one right here, this really pretty sort of like cool tone brown shade. It's like a really pretty pinky neutral brown shade. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up with a Morphe M504, and just like I did with the first look, I'm gonna fluff this into my crease, building up a little bit of depth and definition, and we're gonna see what kind of pigmentation we get from this. Now, is this a clean brush? Yes, it's a clean brush. I was like, oh no, I think I picked up a dirty brush. No, I did not pick up a dirty brush. Well, maybe I did. No, I didn't. I think it's the lighting, but that is going on really nicely. Ignore me. It's early in the morning, and yeah, it just kind of is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue to build this shade up in my crease, blending it out, softening it. That is really pretty though. I do really like that shade. Okay, so next I want to go into this shade right here, which is called Sea Bear. It's this really pretty sort of grungy green shade, and I'm going to pick that up with a Sigma X Kristen Dominique eye and nose contour brush, and I'm going to build up my outer corner just a little bit. I still think that first brush I used was dirty, because this turned out a little bit more on the purpley side than the dusty pink side, and I wanted to show you whenever I swatch it out, it definitely has more of like that dusty pink shade. So it is what it is. We're here for the performance of the shades, not the actual color itself, which it would be nice to know, but it is what it is. Things happen. But I'm gonna go ahead and build this up on the outer corner. Ooh, I really like this shade. That is so pretty. It looks more green on the eye than it does in the pan, which could definitely be because I'm very cool undertone, so it's just going to kind of bring that out a little bit. But this is going on really, really nicely. It's not patching, it's not grabbing, it's performing the way that I expect it to based off of the shades I used in the first look. I'm going to bring this down on my lower lash line as well, just kind of blending it over. And then once I have this down, I'm going to go back with that first shade that I used, and I'm going to go in with a clean brush this time and blend it on the rest of my lower lash line. Alright, so I have a clean Sigma E33 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up that first shade, which is called Solitary. I don't think I mentioned that. And I'm just going to fluff it along the rest of my lower lash line, bringing it over to the inner corner, and then sort of fluffing out everything else along the lower lash line. I apologize for the barking in the background. That's my little dog Brody. He's never in any videos because he's very misbehaved. He likes to bark, he likes to irritate Katie, and this is Katie's domain. He doesn't really like her in here, or she doesn't really like him in here much, so he doesn't really get to come back here when I'm filming, but he's just kind of hanging out, voicing his opinion, and, you know, doing his dachshund thing that he likes to do. I think I want to go back with a little bit of this shade right here, which is called Tundra, that I used to deepen up my outer corner in the first look, and I want to deepen up the outer corner in this look as well. I just like that little bit of added depth out there. So I'm going to pick it up with my same Morphe M506 brush, and I'm just going to very lightly kind of tap it right out here in the outer corner, and then bring it down to the outer portion of my lower lash line as well, just giving that little added depth. Yes, that's what I'm going for. I was going to leave it where it was, and I just kept looking in the mirror, and I was like, nope, I need that little bit of depth out there. It's just the way that I roll and the way that I like it, and that looks beautiful. I really like that blend. I like that gradient, and I think we're ready to move on to some shimmer. So let me go ahead and prime my eye with my NYX glitter primer, and we're gonna jump into this. Okay, so for all over the lid, we're gonna go into this shade up here. I have been dying to use that one. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's called Seaweed, and that's exactly what it looks like. It's a shimmery seaweed color. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with my BK Beauty 203 brush. I just wiped it off really, really good. I should probably pick up another one of these because I use it so much. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it, and we're gonna pop this all over the lid. Ooh, that is so insanely beautiful. Oh, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And you know what? I'm looking at this and I think we're gonna get into that last shade in here as well. So that means that after 2 looks, I will have used every single shade in this palette, and that makes me so, so happy. All right, so I decided I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that shade around to the inner corner as well. So I just picked up a little bit more of it, sprayed it yet again, and I'm just gonna pop it right here on the inner corner. I just think that's absolutely beautiful. I don't always bring my lid shade to my inner corner, but I thought it was really pretty. It's brighter than I thought it was going to be, and I think it looks really good in there. But let's go ahead and pick up this other shade, which is called Icy Slope. It's going to be this one right here, and I'm going to use that to kind of blend my outer corner and my shimmer together. Yes, it's blue, but I think it's going to work. We'll see what happens. It's makeup. It washes off. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to pick that up with my same brush. I'm going to spray my brush, and I'm just going to kind of very lightly pop it right here and just kind of blend and zhuzh my brush back and forth to get rid of that harsh line. Ooh, that's really pretty. I love what that did. All right, y'all, so this is the second completed look, and this one turned out so insanely beautiful as well. Is it as neutral as what I had planned in my head? Absolutely not, but it still looks beautiful. I love that shimmer on the lid. That is my kind of chartreusey shimmer. I think it's absolutely beautiful. But let's go over what I used to finish off this look so we can turn the lights down, see the shimmer, the shift, the sparkle, and then we can close out this video with my first initial impression thoughts. So in my lower waterline, I went in with an LA Girl Pastel Dreams liner. This is in the shade Lime. And then I lined my lid with my Juicy liquid liner and finished everything off with my mascara that I just threw all over my desk. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and chat about these products, and we're gonna start with the liquid lipstick right here. So first of all, I love the color. I think it's absolutely beautiful. You do get a really nice sort of like angled applicator, which this is my favorite kind of applicator for a lip because I feel like you can get really precise. You can really get in there. I did pair mine with a lip liner, but I don't necessarily think you might need it if you have this applicator right here since it is pointed. But as far as the formula goes, it applied really easily. It was very opaque upon application. I didn't have to build it up or go in too thick of an application with the product, and it did dry down. It didn't dry down 100%. I am going to get a little bit of transfer with it, but that's okay. I still think it's going to hang around for a really long extended period of time. And honestly, it doesn't feel as drying on my lips as I thought it was going to feel based off of first application. When it first started to dry down, I thought, oh, this is not going to end well. My lips are going to be so cracked and dry and just parched by the end of this, but honestly, it feels really comfortable now that it's been on for about an hour or so at this point. I could definitely go in with a gloss or a little bit of a balm, add a little bit of hydration and shine back to the lips, but overall, I really like the formula, and I've dealt with ones that are more uncomfortable and more drying on the lips, but I've also dealt with ones that are definitely more hydrating. So based off of first impression, I like it. I don't think it's anything that I would purchase more of personally, just because I do have really dry leaning lips, but I will keep y'all posted as I continue to test it out. But let's talk about the eyeshadow palette because this was the star of the show, as always, at least in my eyes it is, and I thought this was so cute. I really enjoyed playing with it. I love both of the looks that I got, and they are two very different looks. We have something a little bit more icy and wintry, and then something a little bit more bright and fun, neutral but still colorful at the same time. The packaging I think is adorable. I love the artwork. I love how this is compact. There's not any wasted space in here. You get a nice mirror. This does feel nice and heavy It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. And the color story in here, like I said, I really, really enjoy. As far as the matte formula goes, it was really nice. I was impressed with it. I didn't have a hard time building up the pigmentation or blending it out. I did have to work a little bit harder. It wasn't completely effortless like other formulas that I've tried, but I've also tried ones that I really have to work really hard, and I'm happy to say I didn't have to do that. I also didn't experience any patching, skipping, fallout, or anything like that with the matte shades in here, but the shimmers I think are where this palette sort of shines for me. They are so reflective and beautiful on the lid. This duochrome right here, I can just see that blue to purple shift as I move my eye back and forth. Very reflective, very smooth. They're not accentuating texture. They don't feel heavy. I will keep y'all posted as far as creasing goes, but fingers crossed that we don't get any creasing. But as far as fallout goes with these, I didn't get any until I went into my inner corner with this shade right here, and that's my own fault because I went in with a fluffy brush. I didn't spray it. I should have known better, but for the most part it fluffed away. I just have a little piece right here that kind of stuck around, but other than that, I really had a good time playing with this. It's definitely a brand that's more on my radar now, and I'm not opposed to trying more from in the future, and I definitely think I'm going to pick up the Flight Club palette at some point. I'm trying to be a little bit more selective with my purchases, but I just love that one. It's so absolutely beautiful. But cute palette, really enjoyed it. Love the artwork, love the packaging, had a good time with it. So that is going to complete this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know if you've tried this brand before, what you think of it, what some of your favorite palettes are. If you picked up this one, which look was your favorite? I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation right at that comment section. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.